What is going on? Welcome back to Trending Stocks. Today we're going to talk to you about SoFi. I want to go over some expectations for this upcoming week, what might cause some volatility in the stock price, and go over everything else that you need to know. But first, make sure to hit that thumbs up, and with that, let's get right to it. So starting off, this upcoming week, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, so the beginning part is going to be more technical driven, so not a lot in data points, and there's a couple of Fed speakers, but based on the topics at hand, nothing really to be of concern over. So like I said, more technical driven. Thursday and Friday, so Thursday you do have initial jobless claims, GDP, Friday you have PCE, all of which have the ability to really move the broader market and instantly will be correlated with interest rate cuts. And as of right now though, I feel like no matter what happens from now until September 18th, so the next meeting, there will be a 25 basis point cut. What is really up for debate and what the market is trying to digest is a 50 basis point cut justified? And so I think a lot of that data points that will be coming out this week, dependent on how they come out, could really affect this. So the 50 basis point cut, and as well the November 7th, because right now the November 7th meeting does signal a 50 basis point cut. So 50 there, 25 here, so 75 basis points kind of combined between the two meetings, which in my opinion is pretty good. So I think that a lot of people will be focusing on the data points, and it still will have the ability to move the broader market in a positive or negative way, but it won't really be affecting interest rates. Once the market does truly feel that, hey, we're going to have a 25 basis point cut regardless, especially based on what Powell as well just said, but then I think the market will kind of move higher, and maybe, just maybe, you might start to see that rotation that I kind of alluded to, but we'll just have to wait and see. As of right now, though, the fear and greed index is under the neutral category, most likely going to be moving to the greed this upcoming week, meaning people's appetite for risk is definitely going to be on the table. And so this is why you've seen randomly over this last week and a half, a lot of stocks just go up based on no reason whatsoever. It's been kind of interesting. So I do a pre-market video under this channel, so Trending Stocks, and sometimes, yeah, there is no rhyme or reason on why a lot of institutions are buying this stock. No news. The only thing is it's heavily shorted. So potentially that could stand to benefit SoFi, because right now 17.07% of the free float is being shorted, works out to be 178.7 million shares overall are being shorted. Oddly, like even myself, I was anticipating leading into SoFi's recent earnings, shorts to return to around that 15% range. They didn't. They've been lingering for a very long time, no doubtably anticipating a lot of negative data and whatever else. But like I said, with people's appetite for risk kind of increasing this week, you might see shorts trying to mitigate some risk and just to kind of return some shares. So that might potentially help SoFi once again. One thing that as well is going to really help SoFi is options. So with it closing exactly at 750, that does mean that 750 and below is all going to be in the money. So this is from the August 23rd chain, as you can kind of see right there. So you have 36,000 at that 750 and then 28,000 at that 7. So similar to last week when I did mention that come Monday morning, you're going to see a nice bump up in the stock price. That is kind of gave it the precursor for it to really break out. So I think in general that could happen this time around. The market has gone up quite a lot though. So like it might not have the same degree as what it did last week, so you're going to have a lot of give and take, so a lot of volatility, especially in SoFi's case. You do have technicals, like you have a very wide gap, so I'm going to talk on that in a second. But for this upcoming week, you already do have kind of a interesting foundation. So 12,000 at that $7 strike price, 14,000 at that 750, and then 13,000 at that 8. As I said, typically Monday and Tuesday, these do increase by roughly 40%. And so most likely that 750 and 8 are going to jump up quite a lot to probably around the 20s, give or take. So yeah, it's SoFi will need to come out hitting very, very hard beginning part of the week to kind of at least attempt that $8 range, because on the technical level we do have that $7.46. so this is looking at the 4-hour chart. You have 746 going to be the strong support that you'll want to watch for SoFi to hold. Aside from that, the next kind of resistance point is going to be that 798. So very wide gap. So SoFi does need to really come out hitting hard. A lot of, hopefully, institutions do kind of piggyback off of that, piggyback off of the broader market's momentum and appetite for risk, and start to buy SoFi to propel it to close to that $8 range at least. So we'll just have to wait and see. Like I said, so far nothing really planned specific to SoFi this week, so no conferences, no fireside chats, nothing like that. I think they are kind of overdue to do one, so it'd be ideal for Chris or Anthony to do one, but again, that's just more positive, like FYI kind of stuff. Aside from all of that though, like I said, the technicals, you have to really watch for those 2 points to really hold. Over this last little bit, it seems to have it's wanted to go up. It just needs a actual piece of news or something to really push SoFi higher. SoFi, even though it has had a fairly good week, it's been lagging the broader market. Even looking here over this last 1 year, S&P is up 27%, SoFi is still in the red. So I think a lot of people get frustrated with SoFi. They see a lot of good potential. SoFi is profitable and will continue to be profitable, but seeing this chart is absolutely horrific, if you ask me. Over the last 1 month, it seems to have somewhat fixed itself a little bit, but SoFi definitely, like I said, does need to continue that positive momentum. So on the actual chart, higher percentile of the Bollinger Band, watch for it to get and stay above these key resistance levels. So you do have that central Bollinger Band, that 50 and 100 pretty much right together. So that's very, very strong support. So that's kind of a good thing going forward. Stochastic, you do see it at roughly 83, so considered rather overbought. First sign of weakness specific to SoFi, you could see a little bit more of a pullback, as what I've brought up in the past. It's still relatively healthy if it does happen, more of a consolidation on the technical level, but just anticipate for that to happen, right? So GDP, PCE, like I said, those data points coming out, that could also be that kind of deciding factor that really causes SoFi to go down. So aside from that, number of retail investors have been getting in. So I think all in all, SoFi does have a lot of good opportunity this week to really touch once again that $8 range, or potentially, if it does and is able to get above that, then 843. So between that 8 and 843 range, it's very feasible. But I think in order for that to happen, you need a lot of those data points, like I mentioned, from Thursday and Friday to really work in favor of the broader market, and most likely result in a 50 basis point cut for the September 18th meeting. So let me know your thoughts on all of that. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up and subscribe. I always greatly appreciate that. Let me know where you guys feel SoFi is going to be for this upcoming week. So let me know your predictions in the description below. Do you think it is going to be between this range, so the R1 and R2, so between 8 and 843, or do you think it is going to retrace back into kind of the low 7s, sub 6 or sub 7, I guess? Where do you guys see it going? Hopefully everyone had a good weekend so far. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up, and with all that, appreciate all of you watching.